100% focus on if I was starting my business again. Um, I see the same things happening, like with my own clients time and time again, where they come to me and these three things are not working seamlessly. And I can honestly say that it's these three things when they were implemented consistently saw my business take off. So, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Joanne O'Halloran. I'm a business mentor and I specifically support coaches to be able to accelerate their leads, their clients, and ultimately their revenue. Because look, if you don't have clients coming in the door, you're not making money, which means your business is going to really suffer. But it also affects you internally, like affects your mental health, um it affects your relationships, it affects your home life, it affects like really how you feel about yourself. And as much as we want to say that, business is separate to our personal life, let's be honest, do we really separate them? No, we do not. And I'm like, this is all part of your up level. This is all part of the journey to be able to create success, is that you will up level your like leadership, your emotional intelligence, your mindset, your thoughts, all of those things as you're going along. But at the beginning, this is how you feel. I'm like, I know it's how I felt, and my clients tell me the same thing. So we're going to look at the three things that I would 100% focus on. So I'm like, what I will say to you is you are 100% responsible for whether your business succeeds or fails. And if you want to sit in, well, I can't do this now, or my favorite one is I'm not ready, which is just a choice, right? So I'm not ready, I'm not there yet. I'm not in a position to do X. I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I don't have the money. Then you are going to stay exactly where you are. You've got to up level your thinking to be able to, and up level your decision making in order to be able to see the results that you want. There's nothing in between, and it does come down to a choice. And I know that this can be a tough like reality for some people, and I know depending on personality styles, it can hit hard. Like, it can sting in different ways. Like for me, it was a big kick up the bum because of my personality style. If I know I'm the problem, that drives my brain bananas. And I'm like, okay, who do I need to be and what do I get to do so that I can have something different? Because I will not be the reason why something doesn't succeed. And I'm not into that blaming somebody else. I know I'm 100% responsible. So I invite you to have a look at that thinking too and see, are you committed? Are you operating from a point of responsibility? Or are you deviating and blaming and shifting your focus onto things that you've chosen to be your reality? So let me give you an example. If, for example, you say, I don't have the money to do X, Y, Z, or I'm not in a position to do X, Y, and Z, and you have a list of reasons, then you're not being responsible and you're not being committed, because you can reframe that. If you're sitting and being responsible, you can reframe that to say, how can I find the money? How can I get the money? How can I be resourceful? So these are little things that you want to shift in your way of thinking so that you can have what you want. But let's look at the three things that I would 100% focus on. So get a pen and a piece of paper, write these down. And these are things that you want to go all in on no matter what. Like, I'm not kidding you, like no matter what, these are the things that you want to go all in on. The very first one is building your audience of ideal clients. Now, you may not have like a really clear picture of who your ideal clients are, which is fine. I'll get onto that in step two. But you'll have a rough idea of who you want to work with. And I'm going to be straight up, right? This is going to be like a no bullshit live. I don't want to hear, oh, but I can support everyone. That's great. That's never going to work. So let it go. When you're starting out in particular, you have got to be able to market yourself and position yourself to your ideal clients. You cannot position yourself to everybody when you're starting out. When you get bigger and you have like money and team behind you, you can build out a different marketing campaign, but at the start you cannot. So you've got to be able to curate your message so that it hits home with the person that needs to hear it. So like how you would speak to a woman in her 20s is very different how you'd speak to a woman in her 40s, right? The same way how you would speak to a man about his experiences will be different to how you would speak to a woman about their experiences, because you've got to meet people where they're at. So you want to have an idea of who your ideal client is. So I'm like, you want to have a rough idea of what is the problem that they have and what is the solution that they're looking for in a general gist. I'll show you how to get more detail from it in a minute, but that's the general gist of what you want to have. From there, then you want to focus on building your audience of ideal clients, because without an audience, so without leads, so we're going to call them leads, without leads, you have nobody to sell to. And if you've nobody to sell to, then you're not going to make any money. And depending on whether you want an online business, so if you want like a global business, an international business, or if you want a local business, it's still the same thing. You will approach it differently. Like if you want online, there's like the best way to do it ever is through collaborative events. Hands down, through collaborative events. I don't want to hear anyone telling me any different. When it comes to organic, that is the best way to do it. Obviously, if you're going to do paid ads, that's different, but you want to make sure that you have somebody who knows what they're doing to create that. If you're doing it locally, so like if you're doing it within your county, your state, wherever you live, right? If you're doing it locally, then it's the same with going to like networking events and really putting yourself out there and making everybody aware of what you do, who you support, and what you support them with. So that's the very first thing that you need to do. I will always say you also want to just focus on one social media outlet. Yes, I'm streaming onto two right now, but I've been in business for 3 years. But I wish I knew this starting out, because where I would have focused on 100% would have been LinkedIn. Would have been LinkedIn. I wouldn't have touched the other platforms. Wouldn't have touched them, because LinkedIn is where my audience predominantly are. So do you know where your audience is? And if not, we'll get onto this in step 2, but you want to focus on one outlet. You don't need to be across multiple platforms, particularly like in your first 12, 18 months, 2 years, or until you have consistent clients. So even if you get to year 3 and you don't have consistent clients, focus on one outlet. You do not need to be on them all. Trust me on this one. But what you want to do as well is funnel people onto your email list, and I'll tell you why. Email converts higher than social media every single solitary time. Social media is an incredible window into what you do, and it allows for creativity to come out. It's like it allows people to get to know you. But where sales are made is in email. It's in email. So you want to make sure that you have some way of bringing people onto your email list. Now, I know for some people, because I hear this from my clients a lot, is that's where the overwhelm or the insecurity start to kick in, because it's learning something new, right? It's something that's uncomfortable. There's like a bit of tech involved in it. But the thing is, when you have it set up, you create it as an automation, which makes your life so much easier, because there's a lot of nurturing taking place without you needing to be on all the time. Makes your life so much easier. Like if you ever see somebody making sales, or they're like, I made sales when I was asleep, or I made sales over the weekend, or I was away on holidays. Like you may have even seen me do it. It's because there's automation set up in the background. Everybody needs to do this from the very beginning, not wait till you're like a couple of years in business. You need to do it from the beginning. Like if you're serious about building your business and you're being responsible about your business, you definitely want to get this one in. So that's number 1, is make sure that you build up your audience of ideal clients. Don't do what I did, which is, so I was on Facebook and I was on Instagram, and I wasn't on LinkedIn, right? I was on Facebook and I was on Instagram, and it's safe to say 3/4 of the people that were on there were friends, family, and people that I'd done my coaching certification with. Fact. Like none of them were my ideal client. None of them. So make sure that they fit into your ideal client. But the second one then leads in nicely from the first one, is you want to be able to do market research. So whenever you're building up your audience of ideal clients, you want to start connecting with them, get to know them, like thank them for the follow, thank them for the connection, and get to know them so that you can understand what is the solution that they're looking for. Because this is where I see people going wrong all the time with marketing, is that like if you think of your clientele in like a 3-tiered approach. So the first layer is they know about like, what you do, but they've no interest. Like as far as they're concerned, that's nice, but it's not for me, that kind of way. Level 2 then is, yes, I'm in the problem. I know I have a problem, but I'm not motivated. I have all the excuses under the sun. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. When I do this, then I will. If only I had this, then I will. Like there's level 2. They're not the people that you want to be focusing on. You want to focus on the top tier, which is the people that are motivated to make the change, to make the transition, to make the transformation, whatever it is that you support people with. That is the people that you want to focus on. But what a lot of people do is they speak directly into the problem, the pains that people are having, which is level 2, and don't focus on the people that are actually actively looking for the results. So that's where you want to go. But to do that, this is my dog. To do that, Harley, stop, please. So to do that, you want to always talk into people's wants, but you need to have had market research done. Harley, stop, please. You want to have had market research done so that you truly understand what it is that people want. Your service is always going to give them what they need. Harley, please stop. Your service is always going to give them what they need, but you want to speak into what they want, because people don't actually know what they need. They just know what they want. So that's where you want to go with that one. So you want to be doing market research with the majority of people that are coming into your world, to get to know them and to get to understand what it is that they actively want. He's coming up to say hi. The third one then is you want to be selling every day. So I actually had a conversation with a lady there 2 weeks ago, and I was sharing this with her, like, if I was to look on your social media, would I see that you're even open for business? And she said, well, I have it in my about section, I have it in my bio. And I'm like, but that doesn't actually tell people that you're open for business, because that means you're assuming that people are going to actively go look at your bio, because everybody that comes into contact with you wants what you're selling. And that's not true. You've got to be selling every single solitary day. So again, ask yourself this question. If I was to go to your social media now, can I actively see that you're open for business? Is one of the first posts that I see you offering your services? Will I see it on your stories that you're offering your services? If your answer is no, then you're losing out on clientele. And look, I'm going to be totally honest. When I was first starting out, this was like, would make me feel physically sick. And like for 8 months, I didn't do this. And I still have clients coming to me now that are in their second year, their third year, their fourth year in business, that are not doing this, because they have created this like idea in their mind that, well, I can't be doing that because people are going to think I'm desperate. I can't be doing that because people are going to assume that I'm not good at what I do because I'm always selling. But like, think about it. Dentists sell all the time. Grocery stores sell all the time. Clothing sells all the time. Like, if you're on an email list for a retail brand, so like as in like Zara, I don't know who else, like Pretty Little Thing, like, those kind of things. Harley, please stop. Then you're going to see that there's emails coming in every day with, here's what's on offer, here, like celebrating, coming into the 1st of February, those kind of things. You need to be doing the exact same thing too, because you're in business. It's not a hobby. It's not nice to have. You're actually supporting people with a transformation. So if you're not selling every day, how are you going to make sales? You're not. So these are the 3 things that 100% I would focus on. When I did this, so for 8 months, literally, I'll tell you what I did for 8 months that didn't work. I invited people to my Instagram. I invited people to a Facebook community. I posted and then ran away. Like, I wouldn't even post every day because I had a story around that. So I'd post and then I'd run away. And I would only sell when I had a masterclass. So I would do a masterclass once a month and sell. But who was I doing the masterclass to? Nobody. Because I didn't have an audience of my ideal clients. So I wasn't focused on money generating activities. I wasn't focused on the activities that would actually move the needle in my business. I was doing things that were a task because I could actually hide behind them. And I'm sure this will resonate with a lot of people too, is that like, it's easy to hide behind stuff when you're doing different things because you feel like you're busy and then you wonder why you don't get the results. But when you shift your focus into connection and selling every day, things change. And look, if this is something that you know that you need support with, book a call with me so we can have a chat about it, and I can show you how, like, we would set out your business strategy, what we would do working together so that you could have the results that you want. Because there's no medal, there's no badge of honor for trying to figure this out yourself. It's also going to take you significantly longer to do it yourself. And there's no reason why you shouldn't make things easier for yourself. And I mean, it just comes down to trusting yourself. And I always say, if I'm not the mentor for you, that's 100% fine. But make sure you find one that is. Because if I was to give you a 4th thing, it also wasn't until I hired a business mentor to show me what to do that things changed. Because for 8 months, I had mindset mentors, I'd had empowerment mentors. And then I signed up to a business mentor, and I've had both and ever since. So I've had leadership and business ever since, and I always will, because you always want to up level. Plus, I want to be surrounded by people that are in that trajectory too, and that are making an impact in the world, are moving forward, and are operating in being responsible for what it is that they're creating. So if you want this too, book a call so that I can get you set up and get you supported so that you can finally be signing consistent clients and have it that 2024 is the year that you're making money every single solitary month. Because trust me, business feels so much better when you're doing it like that. But I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye.